What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review the third album by Australian hard rock band AC/DC. Basically, this particular project is called Dirty Deeds Done Cheap, and it came out in the this particular project came out in the late summer of 1976. So within fares amongst the here as far as these pitch albums, this is some follow-up type phrase. Now, AC/DC had a hit series of albums that came out in the second half of the 70s, pitched like that. So they had a number of these. There was one. The one after this came out in 1977, Let There Be Rock. And then there was one that came out, Highway to Hell, which I reviewed back in early 2025, which came out in 1979, along with one that came out in 1980 and 81. So some pitch like that within Fray. And see if they dropped in 78 also, but pitched like that as far as these first albums. So within the aspects for saying getting towards it here within Sundays of pitch, yeah, they dropped in 78 as well, so pitched like that as far as those first albums. So this is some hit type PLs. Now originally this did not come out in the United States till 81, pitched like that. So it's within the phrase for saying the product that, with them being an Australian band, pitched like that, it's within the phrase for saying paying attention towards it here, the catch up. It particularly started they had some bangers definitely throughout the 70s, pitched like that, but within the frame between some of those type ones, definitely a few of those hit bangers like Power Ridge and particular Highway to Hell and some ones like that within pitch was just good prime type phrase and aspects like that. So as far as these pitching, I'm just classic kind of 70s type appeal. Now within these pitches, pretty trendy, sparky type flair, definitely old school type phrase. Definitely throwback type phrase, talking about this hit 70s type music. Definitely throwback type bangs pitched like that. Plenty of classic rock type staples pitched like that. Now within the fray, usually within the product nowadays, in these pitches, AC/DC is probably centered to probably more or less just Highway to Hell and Back in Black pitch like that. I do own For Those About to Rock from 1981. Doesn't seem as complex. That one was not as For Those About to Rock from 81 did not have the same massive type appeal within the aspect within the fray of like the viciousness, considering that Back in Black was one of the highest selling albums of all time, pretty much like 12 but pretty much I want to say like 18, 20 tons platinum. Some of those I pitched definitely just widespread type staple throughout the 80s and just 90s in general. Some of those hit type decades pitched like that. But the phrase as far as saying some of these type phrases, this was the initial type content is like some of these type modes started to flesh out pitch like that, just playing these good jukebox type romps and pitch like that. Just some blues rock definitely get towards here. Just a good good hit alternative to Leonard Skinner, pitch like that. So it's the price kind of the pitch. Now within these aspects, this album does particularly have that bang, but it's within the pitch for us saying I do feel like the roteness was a little bit more snappy within those pitches. This definitely has some good type of appeals within this album, pitches like that, sense type aspects. It's the same sort of variety. Dirty Deeds. Then these pitches, Dirty Deeds done. Then these pitches, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap is the same sort of variety as Back in Black and Highway to Hell pitch like that. It's the same sort of rumble within those aspects. This kind of the pitch. It is more gruff within the aspect for us the tone's going to happen. Now within the pitch as far as saying AC/DC is just widespread in general, pretty particular jukebox centric pitch like that. So it's within the phrase for us in some of these type ones in a lot of senses nowadays with these fashions, you could probably play a song from this and folks would probably think it just came from like it just came from like Back in Black or Highway to Hell pitch like that. It's the same sort of variety, particularly Bon Scott, who was particularly Bon Scott, who was the vocalist on this particular album. R.I.P. to him, pitch like that within those praise. Sounds pretty sounds rather similar to Brian Johnson from the Back in Black type days, and For Those About to Rock pitch like that, so I'm surprised. But the aspects for us I'm paying attention towards within hit type phrase, just routine type swap out, then pitch like that. All these particular ones just feel like hit type phrase that just get into the aspect. Hitting type varieties of porch, saloon, and billiards type varieties within pitch like that, as far as these phrase concepts within volition typeness, throw some bonfire type phrase. Definitely throw some bonfire type phrase in there on top of that. So with Galmus, as far as these phrase comes, the pitch for us and just the product of some of these type fairs. Now within the product, this is kind of more lounge type fair. The same product within variety when you have like albums like Back in Black and Highway to Hell Stones to pitch to have a little bit more routine type snap. This the more banner type ones and pitch a more muscle type phrase pitch like that with those particular staples off Back in Black, like You Shook Me All Night Long, Hell's Bells, Hell's Bells, Back in Black, the title track, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, Sons to One, Shoot to Thrill, Giving the Dog a Bone, Sons to Ones like that. The pitch for us saying some of those hit type feels Have a Drink on Me, pitch like that. The phrase for us getting towards the gas bag, the routine type amongst it just kind of has more deep with it has a little bit deeper within the trenches for us, like the phrase that is kind of more than just like the routine, just going for like a round of drinks and fairs like that. So it's kind of pitch for us saying it's not as if it's not within the pitch of having like that particular fairs, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying fucking with ACDC minus just like the normal get up, or if it's more than just the usual type of you're good and set to go just with Back in Black and You Shook Me All Night Long, pitch like that. Some of these type phrase for folks that might know. It's kind of like with Kiss, you know, the startup type one, you would think some of those type pitches paying attention to Kiss, like Rock and Roll Night, and some of those type ones, just the some of the standard get up, like their routine type staples that they're known for, pitch like that. Now there's more to Kiss. I need to get to more of their type music pitch like that. But the phrase for saying some of those type ones is getting it's not quite a surface with ACDC pitch like that. So it's kind of phrase for us saying some of these type ones in the pitch is having like particular it's kind of within the pitch, and just the same sort of phrase, but just kind of with the aspect is like the music starts to sink in a little bit, kind of where the gab product kind of comes within the pitch, where it kind of has variety of not just the de facto and banner type ones pitched like that. So within those phrase processes, paying attention towards it, some of these type pitches have standard type aspects with gal miss pitch like that, but just more gab centric typeness than the pitch as far as just like the collective of definitely gave me more type vibes of the collective kind of amidst like just the routine type spots where the flesh out kind of gets to more secondary and tertiary type senses pitch like that. So it's the phrase for us saying some of these type ones in the pitch were a little bit out of the element compared to like the usual kind of 45 or 50-minute snap of Back in Black and pitch like that. So those type ones are hit type albums like this like 1984 by a particular Van Halen and Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne. Some of the pitch is getting past like the routine type crazy train. Some of the pitch is getting for a little bit more secondary this time, not secondary in terms of quality, but just kind of more things beyond just like the standard get up, but just how's the weather and the pitches of like basic type sim pitch like that. You glad to be done some of the pitch, but it's not as if it doesn't. It's not as if those pairs wouldn't be said and shouldn't be said pitch like that. But hit that phrase. The aspect this album gets a 10 out of 10. Pay attention towards the pitch like that. So within phrase first, and there are two additions to this album. One was the Australian edition, which has differential type songs in certain type senses, and one which is the United States edition, which is, I'm reviewing. The United States edition pitch like that within these phrase first, saying within the aspect, there are 9 songs on both of these. There's a couple of these type ones, one of which was a single off this album that I'm not going to talk about off here, which is Jailbreak, as far as this is going to happen. That's I'll probably return to this particular album down the road within pitch like that, within phrase like the Australian edition as well. But there's also another type of song that's not on the United States and International edition, which is R.I.P. Rock and Peace. So at least 2 songs pitched like that within those phrases that are not present on that particular phrase. But there's it's really common sense. Should probably be a brief type review pitch like that within those phrases later. But the pitch first, and so 10 out of 10 album, recommend all 9 of these songs pitched like that. Because I'm not as full but unsure what the second single was off this particular album in the United States type fair, when this was more promoted seemingly in 1981. It might have been promoted in the 70s, not as full but unsure, but it seems like it didn't come out in terms of over here until like 81. So it's pitch. I don't. Wikipedia doesn't appear to list like the promotion of the sound pitch like that, because it's not Jailbreak. It's not on this album, the United States edition. But pitch for that. Pitch first. I'm going to talk about the second most popular song off this album, according to Spotify, with these pitches as it were a single, which is Big Balls, as far as the supposed to but pitch like that. So within these pitches, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Within these aspects, lead single off the sound pitch like that, hit that phrase. The aspects first saying that this is like a mid, like some late scene push to get towards here, just iron. Good nice phrase with gal miss, metal miss pitch like that to iron like a stressy week out sense the pitches. Just go out for a spell sense the pitch, kind of have the product. Some of these stuff phrases that just get some loud pack bass in your ears, and sense the pitch kind of iron out like the product, just like some BS type phrases to get into some good nice pitches. smoothie and some phrase like that, kind of get towards the phrase, just something cozy and comfortable, pitch like that, hit that phrase, just or some normal dues for you within these products, within the phrase, how this particular product will kind of cap off, so it's pitch like that, it's kind of paying attention. In other words, pitch like that, kind of saying, what would you normally do? Were you not going for like phrase like some jostle pitch like that kind of phrase? It's not being, it's not being glib and inquisitive pitch like that. As far as like the phrase, as far as saying, just like, would you just be sitting home bored with the pitch person? The aspect, just kind of actually question within the phrase of whether or not Galmus would kind of be like sewing or some of these stuff pitches like that. Some of the stuff is trying to make lemonade for the 5th or 7th time, or Kool-Aid for the 5th or 7th time. Some stuff pitch like that. Some hit that phrase with any aspect for us was pitch down, but just hit that phrase like that, paying attention towards it. Having difficulty with Netflix, some of those type pitches like that within the phrase. But the aspects for us saying good nice pitches amongst the phrase, good pitch like that. The aspects for us saying second most popular song off here is Big Ball. As far as these phrases have good nice pitches within the aspect for us, the fair's gonna have is like definitely gave me vibes of pitch like that, wanting like the pilot seats. For these phrases, I'm just paying attention to metal mist. Some of these stuff phrase for us saying particular tone of just you particularly. Why don't you get towards deciding a few things for a spell pitch like that? Let's see some of these stuff phrase. What should we eat? Towards these phrases, kind of just paying attention towards it. Just kind of product of. See what happens when the pilot seat kind of happens to go to someone else versus pitch can happen. Am I going to question my sexuality later within pitch like that? And that's not a particular jab against like the LGBT community pitch like that, but just the actual phrase, just some of these stuff here, just throw one of these worst salads at me since the pitch this question. It's going to be like a salad with like some sort of like 0.2% fat type aspects from the pitch to something like that within those aspects, just 12 different vinaigrette sauces and some of the pitch of the aspect of some of these stuff phrases, the whole kind of way a Starbucks barista knows like the whole shebang, just talking throughout those phrases with folks that like getting coffees and some of the pitch like that is question like the fair if you created monsters, some of the pitch, but it's kind of the aspect of and have like a particular food that seems like it's designed for Richard Simmons or something like that. But the phrase, and it's not dissed against particular folk. Richard Simmons, RIP to him, pitch like that. But the phrase for us saying some of those, the pitch for us just saying, I might feel like I'm going to have to wear drag tonight or something like that within this pitch. But just paying attention towards it, some of the pitch like that. Definitely the phrase for us getting towards the hit type feels kind of see. The Snickers that might come from Metal Mist for us, these phrases kind of a good nice pitch kind of amongst it. Particular love at first feels the heading type 1 off here. It's like a good routine kind of AC/DC rumble, good pitch like that. This early bird kind of back in black type phrase, good pitch like that. This some Benny stories, definitely pitch like that. Paying attention to some of these type products as far as just like the particular aspect of some of these type angles within pitch for us saying just some of these good hit pairs of previous type days within pitch, just like some step out type price pitch like that. Do you have like some dodo-y type stories pitches like that of spilling like a beer or some sort of drink on like your key fob or something like that within those pitches if you don't keep it in your purse pitch like that? Some of the phrase the aspects like that. Some of the phrase pitches of some stuff aspects get some shakes in gal mess system on top of that good pitch amongst the hit type phrase. Did you buy a food at a particular restaurant that you really didn't like and you're like, screw it, I'm just gonna be rude and only take one bite of this? Some of those type pitches kind of pray pitches like that, but it's probably the date's fault, something like that. You probably you routinely embarrass your dates pitch like that. Sounds the phrase amongst the aspect this hit type pitch like that, but the phrase for us getting towards the good aspects. Rocker's a nice type one as well. Good pitch here. It's like a red hawk on a dance bang to get towards this meme trade. Definitely gal miss. Some of pitches, metal miss. Good hit phrase like that. This Grease quote. Some stuff fair. Some of them pitch. It's been a spell since I've seen Grease pitch like that, but some of those type ones is probably a meme type pack from that particular movie or some of those type ones like that. And I'm probably thinking some of those type aspects. I do question within phrase paying attention to like a movie like Grease. Some of those other type ones that kind of be within that neighboring community. Ferris Bueller. Some of those type ones like that. Some of those type pitch kind of within that same sort of product pitch like that. The aspects for us saying particular tones of which. Kind of getting towards what color Lettermans do you prefer? Pitch like that. Just the aspect, just questioning the fray. Good nice purple one would be pretty bang. Good nice purple one would probably be pretty banging pitch like that. Just questioning if you questioning like the color taste, if you're color deaf, pitches like that as far as these phrase guys have this saying about a good pitch like that, hit that phrase, but definitely some logger ups, pitch like that, get some drinking. Me personally gonna get some drink in my system first like that, hit that pitch kind of amongst it, but yeah, this definite get a nice up kick type rumble pitch like that. Some of these type ones within pitches, now particularly there was this is kind of like the Girls Got Rhythm from Highway to Hell pitch like that. Some of the ones that's good tonight. Good nice rump shaking boogies for those pitch kind of excellent type pitches. Problem Child's the hitting type one as well. It's like an on the scene kind of feeling, summer evenings and dredge for these aspects can happen. Just nostalgia stories definitely get towards a good pitch like that. Just some barbecue fries for Galvin's pitch like that. Sounds like praise. These folks in general, some of these type pitches, just some cheese fries, barbecue fries, pitch like that, hit type phrase. Just feels like a trip to Arby's, but just restaurant type phrase, venue type phrase, good pitch like that. Early bird, you kind of shook me all night long, pitch like that, sounds like phrase. So kind of good, nice warm and hot out type festivity. Definitely getting towards like the summer kind of positive, frustrate type bang pitch like that within hit type phrase for us. Yes, it's kind of a good ballistic type fair within pitch like that. Definitely afraid. Nostalgia story sense the pitch is kind of paying attention to the product of particular throwback type prize, a vintage type fair of like vintage type fair of olden and golden type days pitch like that within those hit type fields. Good aspects for us. Those fair's gonna happen. Good routine type bangs, just like Highway to Hell and Back in Black, good excellent pitches like that. There's going to be some rockins real good. There's going to be some rockins real hitting quality type one pitch like that. It's like a good neighborhood rumble to get towards here. Just host type fits with the fray. Just like good collect pitch like that. Just some porch swing definitely with pitches like that's kind of fray. Fritos nearby, sunflower seeds, sense a pitch like that. Just good type. Good type collecting goings. Probably the pitcher having like some white noise on with the sense of pitches. Just hit type phrase within. Have like mash on sense if there's good pitch like that as far as these probably going to have a dismiss feeling a few as far as these pitch guys paying attention like the hit type aspects of the tone as far as just getting towards the definite hit type product to see in particular. Within the fair of like vibe check in there pitch like that sense to phrase that's paying attention to the product. There is hard liquor sense of pitch. It's not having like disarray of not being able to combobulate and pitch like that, but sometimes the phrase is the aspect that's definitely get towards cooking some phrase pitch like that, get like a coffee cake going for Galvin, sometimes pitch amongst the hit that phrase, this extra products of some scones in the fridge pitch like that, sometimes the phrase on top of that hit that phrase in the aspect. Might make like a salad also if things are too harsh pitch like that, but sometimes the phrase just definite pitch, just enjoying like the fray, like some summer energy pitch like that. Get further kind of nostalgia stories, just the pitch of this, the crank up meme pack definitely. Look like one of the Dukes of Hazzard type starlets pitch like that within those phrases. Good products for us, those pitch can happen. Definitely lit type tune pitch like that. Ain't no fun waiting around to be a millionaire is good. Nice one off here. It's like a good early bird kind of shook me all night long pitch like that. Similar to like Problem Child pitch like that. Just good bonfire type simp. Some of these type pitches. Definite hit bonfire type simp and pitches like that. Send surprise for us and get towards the product. Excellent kind of fraternize sends the pitches, get towards some smoke type products, send these type pitches, pass around like some barbecue type phrase pitch like that, get toward a couple quick ribs to cook and some of these type pitches, going through hell, barbecue sauces pitch like that, some of these surprise within the aspect with good nice pitches for this surprise can have just a good collect and just the aspects like goings on. Good muscle type fairs on top of that sense to pitch just kind of come through, just post up type phrase, just keep it a buck, keep it 100 type fairs pitch like that. As far as those phrase can have just some pitch, just like standard sound off, just more neighborly and block type oriented pitch like that. Hit that phrase. Right on is nice off here. Good nice pitch. It's like a syruped and drifty kind. Then these aspects, the hit song Right On is a nice one. It's like a syruped and drifty kind of pink skies get towards here. Just typical kind of country activities with gal miss for these first kind of just paying attention like the parade. Just some of these stuff fairs was raking tough. Some of stuff fairs is paying attention whether or not the price of folks say they're country till you get towards the aspect of this probably being outside for 5 or 8 minutes, and it's kind of like, yep, that's it for me as far as this pitch can happen. Just some weed errors as far as this pitch can happen, but product of gals definitely get towards breaking their nails trying to pull weeds pitch like that. It's kind of phrase as far as saying have you ruined scissors from doing some of those that phrase pitch like that? It's kind of phrase as far as saying I noticed you don't talk about gardening too much. This kind of phrase for us saying, I guess. Yes, we have some more Walmart type galleys here as far as these pitch down, which is not a problem pitch like that, but it's kind of being douchish pitches like that as far as those phrases going to happen. Yeah, but hitting kind of typical country type activities, just thrift type shops, gravel roads and thrift stores, since I pitched amongst it, both darts and particular aspects of darts in those particular aspects, like those hacky sack type games within those pitches that you throw into like the whole type sets, kind of similar like the arcade type fair pitch like that. Sounds hit type ones. Good nice pitch amongst but good banging type nest pitches like that. That was standard ballistic type fits. Standard hitting type fits pitches like that. Definitely appreciate like some flush kind of just sunset type hours or sunrise type hours pitch like that amongst these type phrase. Good pecan type pie and sense the pitch kind of have just in like the late lunch kind of setting pitch like that. Squealer is a nice type one off here as well. It's like a feeling some embark, good pitch like that. This groovy kind of dance fit and saloon kind of slow dance for us. These first kind of good nice pitches here. Did Fems hate you back when? Or there's some Fems out there that hated you back when as far as this pitch guy. I'm definitely in type territory as far as this pitch guy. I'm just paying attention. I think I pretty much answered my own questions for this first guy. I'm just paying attention towards like the pitch. You have a purse like a drill sergeant, sends the pitch like that as far as these phrase guy. I'm good. Hit type pitch as far as this phrase going to happen is paying attention. It's your makeup offensive to the circus as well within sense the pitch. So it's kind of bright. Not to say like that in terms of like being foul to the degree as far as like the pitch for saying this horrid type aspect of the pitch for saying. It's kind of within probably with Bozo and some of those type folks be like, what the H man as far as this pitch kind of within the phrase is talking about. Whether or not the Ringling brothers would find you pretentious or something like that, but the hit type phrase, just the aspect is definitely it's being barbalicious pitch like that, but the phrase for us in some of those type phrases as far as those pitch kind of just the hit type phrase. Now, probably not getting as full bound morbid to like the pitch as far as just active, just being feral and that like metal misses throat pitch like that. But the phrase just pitch like that as far as some of those stuff, it's definitely slow dance stuff or pitch like that. But just kind of the phrase just did Fems hate you back when pitch like that sounds the phrase pitch like that. But just stepping at you get the get up with this as phrase kind of accent type pitch, paying attention towards a hit type phrase. Aspects for saying so 10 out of 10 out pitch like that. Social score gets a 10 as well within these pitches. The collective of getting towards like the product, some of these type jumps pitch like that. The phrase for saying good nice, good nice particular routine type. Good nice particular hitting routine type AC/DC type boogie within pitch like that as far as these first guys to some of these type ones just like Back in Black, just like particular for those about to rock, just like Highway to Hell and some stuff pitch like that. Phrase bar saying it's good saloon type rumbles pitch like that, some dance bangs, jukebox type bangs pitch like that. Sense of phrase just the collective just getting out and getting some outward kind of vent, getting some outward kind of getting some outward kind of venue summer type sun and frustrates for us with pitch count within the aspect is kind of definite particular type fury within pitch as far as just talking about metal mist kind of step out the phrase from the product of this. Further type collect towards the fray of dislike the particular get up. Further type collect towards the get up like the phrase of knowing AC/DC past the normal amount pitch like that. Some of these the first is getting towards it's a good familiar type romp type ground, so then pitch like that as far as this phrase is going to happen just in the aspect of like active kind of fraternize, collect and pitch like that as far as this phrase goes. So within pitch press and 10 social pitch like that within those aspects as far as the phrase goes. Barbecue fries, some of these bonfires, porch collect, barbecue fries, since the pitch like that. Yoggers within venue loggers and nostalgia stories within the aspects as far as like particular fraternize and outing type of scenery and relish versus Priscams, accent type pitches there within those aspects. So in terms of future, AC/DC, this was like their this was their third album way back in 76, 50 years ago as far as those price counts. So with them pitch for saying they at least dropped in 2020 pitch like that, and before that 2014 as far as these pitch count. But yeah, like the pitch, if they dropped 50 years ago, they probably had to be at least 25 or 30 somewhere in there as this pitch for saying just definite legends and icons pitch like that as far as those price count. But in the aspect then the collector's part saying just good routine type hit, staple pitch like that, going for like some good outing venue type bangs pitches like that within these parts. Definite blistering type album.